What's up? Good morning, everyone. I'm gonna do a little different this morning for our morning show. We've got a little more to talk about this morning, so I thought I would open it up and do a little differently this morning. So thank you for joining me. I'll delay it just a minute, let a few more people join us. But it is a Victory Monday this morning on RAIDER ReACTION. A Victory Monday. It was a good win yesterday. It was a win. So let's not get we never want to discount a win, especially this late in the season. That's for sure. So it's Victory Monday. You cannot look past the fact of how important a Victory Monday is this late in the season. So what happened yesterday? Well, a victory, obviously, happened yesterday. And you still you have no chance at a winning season. No chance at a winning season, but you have a chance at a playoff spot. So, makes things a little interesting. A little interesting when you look at how you dissect what the 2019 season is. What's up, Alyssa? What's up, Andrade? What's up, everybody? How we doing this morning? So, remains to be seen what the description and what the final tally and how you assess this season as to whether it's a success or if it was a failure or what happens. I guess now we have to reserve that and hold on to that assessment for one more week. It's unfortunate that you're sitting here and you've backed yourself into a corner, you've put yourself behind the 8 ball, and that you've backed yourself into a situation that you really don't control your own destiny. That is the one thing that you never want to do about... Oh, I'll take that, Bill. Always crying about Carr. I guess I'm not one of you uneducated football fans. It's okay with mediocrity. That's okay with a 42% win percentage. No, I'm sorry. I'm not one of those uneducated football fans. I'm an educated football fan. I understand how the game works. And I understand that if you run a dink and dunk fucking game plan and you don't turn the ball over and you get 100 plus yards on the ground, that you're probably going to win. You know what? Trent Dilfer has a fucking Super Bowl ring from the same fucking shit. There's a lot of quarterbacks that have Super Bowl rings from doing that. From being captain game manager. Well, that Captain Average did that yesterday. He managed the game. He scored on a called run. A called run. Do you realize the difference between that? That wasn't Derek Carr dropping back in the pocket, being instinctive, seeing a hole and running. No, that was a 100% called fucking bootleg that rolled out and scored. That wasn't him turning his head and being instinctive and running. That was his coaching saying, hey, we see there's going to be a mismatch on this play. We're going to roll you out and you're going to run to the corner. Hey, dumbass, this time don't dive, all right? Don't fumble the ball into the end zone. So it's nice to see him not do that. At least he's learned something from prior mistakes. But what was done yesterday? Coaching staff put in a good game plan. We're going to dink and dunk and do what you do best. Your wide receivers broke some tackles. Broke one for a long touchdown, and we had a good running game. That's how Derek Carr can win games. Have I ever said Derek Carr can't win games? No. I've pointed out the fact he's a 42% win percentage quarterback. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. That was a rollout. That was run one. If it's there, you run. You have a pass option if you don't decide to run. But that was run first. Run first 100%. You know, it's great. We got the 50-yard play to Renfro, but that was 90% Renfro. Can we win with Derek Carr? Of course we can. That's what I don't think people understand. When you're basically 6 seasons deep, and this entire catalog of work to look at, and the best that you have out of that is 42% wins, and you beat a team that was 5-8, people. This is what Derek Carr does his entire career. He beats average and bad teams. And he makes it look spectacular against average and bad teams. But we never win the marquee wins. We never beat the good teams. But if you can win enough average and against enough average and bad teams, you have yourself in a wild card or in a conversation at the end of the season, because not everybody that you play is a top flight team. So that's how you can get through an NFL season and get to the second half, to the postseason, which is what we're setting forth to try and do this year. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to lump and throw this on the back of Derek Carr, who vaulted us into playoff relevancy. That ain't what happened, people. We fucking pissed down our leg for an entire month of fucking NFL football, and the rest of the league just happened to suck along with us. So, we've got to go out and now put together a game plan to rally around and do what we can do with what we have. And what we have is good quarterback play. So if you put in a good game plan and you execute it, which is what I've said all year. I've said this all year. If Derek Carr can go out, complete high percentage passes, dink and dunk, not turn the ball over, we don't fumble, we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, and you can go out there and meander through a game, stay in first gear, and don't commit turnovers and put points on the board, and have your defense keep you in the game, you can win games. You can win games in the NFL. You don't have to be sexy, you don't have to be flashy, you don't have to be the Ravens. You don't have to be any of that to win games in the NFL. You can do it with good and average quarterback play. As long as they don't turn the ball over, do like Jameis Winston and, throw 4 fucking picks a game. As long as you don't do that, you can win in this league. Can you win a championship with Derek Carr? You goddamn right you can. And I've said it and said it over and over again. The fact that I don't think he's a great quarterback, I've never said we can't win with him. That's where how you talk about my quarterback. Are you going to be one of these guys? Don't talk about my quarterback. If you're going to be one of those guys, then there's no point in even having a conversation with you. Because, quite frankly, he's the most important position on the field. And we're not going to have a winning season again. We're at the end of season 6. It's not going to be a winning season. That's stats, man. That it is what it is. So to say that somebody in one of 32 jobs in the world, but you can't criticize him. You can't say anything about him, or man, there is a large percentage of Raider Nation that gets their fucking panties firmly wedged up their ass if you say one thing, or even question if he's not a great quarterback. But he's got stats. He's up near the state. He's just statistically, he's one of the greatest Raider quarterbacks ever. That's because it's a Madden league now. Everybody throws for 4,000 yards. So let's get over it. It was a good win. We won and we stayed relevant. But it was a 5-8 team, and it was still only a 1-score win, and they were still a fucking onside kick from having a chance at the end of the game. When do you find second gear? When do you find second gear? When do you step on a team's throat? When you had the opportunity to, I don't know how many times, to put this game away, and you continue to let the fucking chokers hang around and hang around. This is what this team does. Good teams, when they get the opportunity to go up by 2 scores, they do it. They dump all the pressure on the other team to have to now come back. We don't do that. We're happy with the lead, we'll meander through, and we always give the other team a chance to come back. You can't do that, man. You can't do that in the playoffs. You can't do that when you've got a possibility of you're going to have to, your playoff life is going to happen in Buffalo, Baltimore, New England, or Kansas City. All cold, all on the road, all shitty environments, all fucking detrimental winter weather, and all of those in January. That's what we're going to have to do. So I like the game plan they put in, because if you're going to win in the playoffs, we're not going to win on talent. We don't have it. We don't have overwhelming talent that we can tip the scale in our favor against anybody we match up in the playoffs in the AFC. Nobody. So what do you have to do? You got to come in with a game plan and do what you do. You got to run the ball behind a good offensive line and a good fullback. You got to punch him in the mouth. You got to dink and dunk, and you got to be safe with the ball. If you can do that, you can win in January. January football is a different beast, man. And this team is a run-heavy, grind-type team with dink and dunk. You can win, but it's all about mistakes. You can't make mistakes, and you cannot turn the ball over, because if you are not going to, you don't have the ability to put up a breakneck amount of points, then you've got to keep the score low, and you've got to be very, very efficient with the clock and when you have the ball. You always have to put points on the board. So this is a very strange situation that this team finds themselves in. You have the possibility of backing into the playoffs at 8-8 after you lost 4 games in a row. 4 games in a row between week 12 and week 15 of an NFL season, and you find yourself still relevant and as much as you wanted to say you hardly had a little of a chance last weekend, man, you look at who needs to win this week, and all the teams that are supposed to lose are the underdogs. There is a damn good possibility. I'd say the biggest question mark is us beating the Broncos. If we can handle our business and beat the Broncos, there's a damn good possibility we're in the postseason. But I'm also going to say this. If we go out and we beat the Broncos, you've gave every blind fucking person that backs Derek Carr blindly and is huffing his nuts and has firmly fucking planted deep in their trachea. If we end up 8-8 and miss the playoffs, nobody's going to blame Derek Carr at all. He will again be the Teflon quarterback, and nothing will stick to his ass again. He will take no blame for this entire season, and he's going to get a fucking free pass into 2020. This guy just continues to get free passes. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what shakes out, because over the next 7 days, so much can happen. So we'll see. Am I happy today? You got the team that I love, silver through my veins, and the fact that we're even talking about playoffs, no matter what the scenario is in week 17 of an NFL season, is really, really all that a Raider fan wants. And when you break it down, I am, my man, I am a Raider fan through and through. And the fact in playoff contention in week 17 is a fucking beautiful thing. I think that this coaching staff realizes what they have at quarterback, realizes his limitations, and the limitations of talent around him. Drag it down, keep it simple, and run a good, clean game plan. This team can win. This team has a possibility